It is January 9th, 2025. See, I said it right. It is now 7 o'clock. I will go ahead and get started. Chris, could you please follow?
Here.
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 All right, we have a quorum. If everyone could please stand to the pledge, but right after the pledge, we will take a moment of silence for President Carter and the California wildfire. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Move on to the next item on the agenda, approving tonight's agenda. And council, any questions? Do we have an executive session?
No executive session and no staff reports.
So striking item 10 and 11 off of the agenda. Any further discussion or questions, council? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I move that we approve the agenda with removal of item 10 staff reports and item 11 executive session.
Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a motion by Karen, second by Matt. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Carries 4-0. Move on to approving tonight's consent agenda. Council, any questions about tonight's consent agenda? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
The motion that we approve the consent agenda?
Do I have motion by Matt, second by Kendra. All in favor say aye. Carries 4-0. Move on to the communication section. Kechi civic groups / committees. Do we have any civic groups or committees that would like to speak this evening? Seeing none, I will move on. Kechi good news. Does anybody have any Kechi good news? I do. Well, thanks guys for being here. Today is National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. So thank you guys for all that you do. We know that the snow and everything is not the best weather to drive in or police in. So thank you very much for being out there and keeping our city safe so we can do what we do. Also, want to give a big shout out, even though they're not here, Public Works for all that they've been doing with the snow and everything, keeping the roads as clear as they can in these weather. So thank you very much. And also city staff for being willing to be here and making sure that we can run everything smoothly so that our residents have that opportunity. Do we want to announce our new person and his name?
We have a new, a new administrative clerk who works up at the front desk. He will be the first person that people see when they come into City Hall, and his name is Ben.
Awesome. Well, we're really excited. I had an opportunity to meet Ben last week. He's very nice, so I'm really, really excited that he started with us.
Yeah, he's doing a good job so far.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. Any other Kechi good news?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I did see some great snowmen on the way up here. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Love it, love it. Do you have a favorite?
Well, I'm biased, but my son did a great one in the backyard. But there was a really big one on the way, and I don't even know the name of the street. It's right across from April's house there. What?
Prairie Creek Drive.
Prairie Creek Drive, yeah.
Was that in Karen?
Oh, that's from Cheyenne.
Yeah, it was across the street from Karen's yard as well. There were some kids very active to get that done, so I thought that was pretty neat.
Oh, it was on Cheyenne.
Oh, it's on
Oh, it was on Cheyenne? Okay.
Okay, awesome. Well, that was some great news, so thank you very much. All right, we'll move on to public comment. Chris?
They do have one, but I think it's for the public hearing.
Just a hearing.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so done for public comment, so we will move on. Moving on to the council president election.
Mayor and council, each year, the council is to elect one of its own to serve as president, and it is at the discretion of the council who they nominate. So what you need to do is open for nominations and take nominations.
I would open for nominations.
I would like to nominate Todd Hedstrom.
Is it because he's not here?
No. A little bit of history. I served in that role in 22 and 23 for 2 years. Prior to that, Brian Adams served in that role for a couple years. And one of the goals of our council is to do the best that we can to rotate those responsibilities for experience. And I'd like to nominate him for a second year, because I think the continuity of doing it for a couple of years is a lot of value in that. So I nominate him, and he was supposed to speak to you about accepting the nomination.
He did, and it was not because he wasn't here that he decided to accept it. He said that he enjoyed the role and that he would be willing to serve again, so. Do I hear a second for that nomination?
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Alright, seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
I move that Ted Hedstrom,
I already, I'm sorry, we need to vote. We already did
Oh,
one. It's the first meeting, I'm sorry. Sorry, I would, yes,
Motion.
But, yeah.
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'll get there. Carries 4-0. All right, moving on to land bank report.
Yeah, Mayor and council, each year before January 31st, the city of Kechi has a land bank, and the land bank is supposed to give an annual report to the council. Kind of by de facto, council members are also the members of the land bank when it would ever come time to put that hat on. Currently, the land bank has no property associated with it. We don't hold any property. The land bank is a vehicle for the city if we decide to purchase property. It's kind of a vehicle, Andrew help me, where the city can, if we purchase property, we can park it there temporarily. It has certain tax advantages to it. We don't have to pay property taxes on that until that.
Land banks came about, I mean, they have some different uses, but they came about as a remedy for really the circumstances of failed developments where there were city lots that might be sitting out there, or private lots sitting out there with special assessments or taxes that were accruing, and so they were difficult to sell and get developed. It allowed the city to sort of take those in, do some things with those taxes, try to get it back into circulation and development. You can use it for other city purposes as well. It's not something you generally use to like hold the city hall or park property or anything like that. And so, because we don't have any property in the city of Kechi that has been distressed in that kind of way in quite some time, there hasn't been really a use for the land bank. But if that were to ever happen, it's good that we have it, it's established, it's operating if it needs to be. So.
And we do have a annual balance in there of $75,000, which just sits there. It's good to have a little bit of money in there in case we ever need to acquire property for whatever reason. So, other than that, that is my report
Okay,
to satisfy state statute.
awesome. Council, any questions? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I do have a quick question.
Go ahead.
So the 75,000, what's the benchmark for that dollar amount? Did I miss that?
I don't know that there is a benchmark. It was budgeted into there many years ago, and it's just sat there in case we ever need it for anything.
Okay, so 75,000 was set aside at one point in time?
At some point in time, and it just resides there in the land bank, correct?
And those funds can only be used for purchase of land then, correct, Andrew?
That's correct. I mean, you as the land bank, if you ever wanted to, could just decide, hey, we want to transfer it back to the city. But as long as it's sitting in the land bank, it has to be used for land bank purposes, yeah.
Yeah, that answers my
Yeah.
question.
Any other questions, council? All right, seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
I move that we accept and file the Kechi Land Bank annual report support.
Do I have a second?
Second?
I have a motion by Karen, second by Matt. All in favor, say aye. Carries 4-0. Moving on to the 2025 annual market adjustment to pay plan.
Mayor and council, this is what we do each year for employees. It's a cost of living adjustment. In the past, the amount has been based off the consumer price index, which comes in about mid-month. As you recall, last year, I think, Mr. Brewer, you had wanted some continuity to get rid of the volatility in what we had been doing. Back in '22, the cost of living increase was 7%. In '23, it was 6.5%, and in '24, it was 3.1%. So in order to stabilize that, allow us to budget a little better, let the employees know what they can look forward to each year, my recommendation is that we base it off these steps in our pay scale. So that each step in our pay scale is 2.5%. This year, the estimated CPI is between 2.1 and 2.6%. So we're well within the estimated range where we would fall if we still went with that. But for staff, what that allows us to do is we know exactly how much we need to budget. This year, we budgeted about 3% over in wages and salaries, so we're well within that 2.5%. But it allows us to budget easier. It provides a little more transparency to both the council and the community, knowing what that cost of living is going to be each year. In addition, it keeps employees from creeping up on the pay scale. So each time we do that, we have to adjust their salary within the pay scale, which bumps them up. I mean, if you're looking at 7%, they probably bumped up 3 or 4 steps within the pay scale. So it keeps each employee in the middle range of the pay scale. What we do to adjust for that is we knock off the bottom step, we shift the scale down, and add a step to the top. So all the employees stay in their same step. If you're in grade 15, step 5, you will stay at grade 5 with the adjustments in there. So what it does is it keeps your employees from topping out in the pay scale. It keeps everybody in that mid range.
Any questions, council? I just want to say thank you for your hard work on this. I know we've been talking about it for a couple of years, and being able to really get into this is a great idea. So thank you. All right, I would entertain a motion.
Okay, so do we need 2 parts to this motion?
Yeah, there's 2 parts to this motion.
Okay. So we want to do, the first one as far as the COLA aspect of it, and then the COLA increase, so 2 motions? Or
You can include it all in the same motion.
that's what I was asking, so. I just like to say, I appreciate your work on this. This has been something that's been a lot of debate through the years with, city administrator, council. There is a lot of volatility when you look at inflation and various things that impact it, and so I think it's better for the employees because they can know what to expect, and I think it's good for the city because we know how to budget, so I appreciate your work.
Thank you.
So, comments on that?
I would entertain a motion unless others have comments or questions.
Okay, I'll make a motion to, part 1, to approve the staff recommendation to transition from using the CPI, Consumer Price Index, as the basis for the annual cost of living adjustments, known as COLA, and adopt the city's pay scale for future COLA determinations. Secondly, approve the 2.5% COLA for 2025 for all non-contractual employees, aligning with the current pay scale step structure, retroactive as of 1/5/2025.
Do I have a second? All right, I have a motion by Matt, second by Kendra. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Carries 4-0. Move on to old business, enter the public hearing.
Mayor and council, on December 6th, the council passed a resolution setting a public hearing for tonight for the NRP, which is the Neighborhood Revitalization Program. We've talked at past council meetings about this program. The council gave guidance to staff on developing the program on December hearing gives anybody who is in attendance tonight to speak about it, good or bad. I believe the council has emails as well, or maybe have received some emails. I don't know if you have those and want to read those, but it just gives the public an opportunity to comment prior to considering adoption of this plan.
Does council want those emails read out? I have two, but both people who have emailed me are in attendance, so I can ask if they would like their emails shared publicly, or they plan to speak, and I feel that we can probably move on and not read them into.
Sure, that's fine.
So, is that good? Okay. All right. So, yes,
Just one.
okay.
Chilling.
And we'll give 5 minutes for that.
Jimmy Harris, 109 Chippewa Street, Madam Mayor, members of the council, city staff. I am not anti-growth nor anti-incentives. I am concerned regarding a blanket tax rebate program being laid across the main district for potential growth and development in Kechi. And I want to thank Mayor Coleman and Councilmember Dwyer for acknowledging my emails. I do ask that Councilmember Baldridge will recuse herself from voting, as approval does benefit her personally. If the council approves the proposed NRP plan, will you balance your decision-making between business development and residents? Will you refrain from increased spending for the annual city budget over this time frame? Will you commit to work diligently to reduce the mill levy and ease property tax burden upon the residents in Kechi? Now, one issue in particular, which you're already aware, I'm greatly concerned about is the Sunnydale NRP district areas 1 and 2. There had not been any mention in any discussion about the Sunnydale community until the October 24th, 2024 City Council meeting, when the general area map shared by City Administrator Densby indicated there was a possible residential development in the Eldersley Farm area. Under the specific maps created, it appeared that a larger area of Sunnydale was being identified. However, when the Area 1 and 2 maps were published, the district is being proposed and created for one family and not a geographic area. One of the property owners attended the August 13th, 2024 Planning Commission meeting to address the commission, communicating plans to file a future conditional use permit alter purpose on his dairy barn. Additional concern arises as one of the property owners in this family was appointed to the Planning Commission December 2024. The property owners are good people. I have no objection regarding their desire to redevelop their farmland or serve our community, but this does not look right. Kechi Ordinance 1-212 Code of Ethics. A. Declaration of Policy. The proper operation of our government requires the public officials and employees be independent, impartial, and responsible to the people. That governmental decisions and policy be made in the proper channels, and that the public have confidence in the integrity of its government. D. Fair and equal treatment. Number 3. Obligations to citizens. No official or employee shall grant special consideration, treatment, or advantage to any citizen beyond that which is available to every other citizen. A larger defined geographic area was not identified for Sunnydale. NRP areas 1 and 2 are created for a specific family. Odd timing in appointment. Now, from the city's perspective, it could be stated that the NRP plan was already being discussed and developed, so there are multiple property owners across the 4 areas involved in what is before you. However, the appearance does not look appropriate for areas 1 and 2 in Sunnydale. In addition, my confidence in the integrity of Kechi's government continues to be diminished. Holding this meeting during a significant snow event is not appropriate, and there are people in the public who were not able to attend because of it. I ask that the governing body do the right thing tonight. Thank you for your time and consideration.
I know we have some members of the public come in a little later, so I wanted to give the opportunity if any other members of the audience would like to speak on this. I wanted to give fair opportunity. So if you do, you can come up to the podium now. If not, I will close public hearing. People.
Feel free
frankly, is the publics are tired of money being given away.
Thank you. Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. We will now move on to item 8B, NRP/Interlocal Cooperation Agreement, Resolution 25-780. Matt.
Mayor and Council, this is the NRP resolution that we have been discussing. The plan that is attached to your packet is the entire plan, the plan in full, all the legal descriptions of the properties involved, the map that is required. We've held a public hearing to satisfy that requirement. Andrew and myself are here to answer any questions on the plan if you have them.
Does anyone have any questions? I have questions?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, I think there's been some concern that this particular resolution leans more towards stimulating commercial growth rather than residential, or is a benefit mostly to commercial and not the residents itself. However, in looking through the document, I see quite a number of houses that are listed here, as well as in section 2 of the proposal. Let's see if I can find it real quick. There is an option for residents outside of the district that is laid out to apply for benefits. I think any resident in the city has opportunity to apply for that. Am I correct in that statement?
You are correct. The way that the plan works is while we've established those distinct boundaries for the NRP areas, those are the areas that if they qualify and someone submits the application, does everything properly, the staff can, issue those benefits under the NRP rebate program. But there is the option for dilapidated structures that the council, anyone can come anywhere in the city and say, this particular property is dilapidated under the definitions of the plan and the state law, and the council would have the ability to then approve those benefits for that particular property, even though it may fall outside of the established boundaries.
Thank you for that clarification. Go ahead.
There were some concerns brought up to me that there may be a deferment of these costs onto residents of Kechi, and my understanding is that is not the case. Is that accurate?
Yeah, with the NRP, the city does not give up anything that it does not already have. Okay, so we're not providing a 100% property tax rebate to the people who apply for this. It is only a percentage of the increase in valuation from the improvements they make on their property, and only 100% for the first year. So after that first year, then the city starts collecting a proportionate amount of property tax on that property. So if somebody is paying $100 in property tax today, they will still continue to pay that $100. We are not giving up anything with this program.
Just to follow up on that, as a tax incentive to develop and reach the goals of the city plan, is there any ability to discern between commercial and residential property if it's jointly owned?
You mean if it's like mixed use?
Yes.
Yeah, so if it's mixed use, generally it would apply to the primary use of that structure. So in our C1 zoning, it says that people can live in the business that they have, okay? Well, the primary use for that piece of land is for a business. So I'm not saying it would, each one would be looked at on a case-by-case basis, but it would be, it's primary use is what we would consider.
Not that I'm trying to monopolize anything, but I just want to throw out a hypothetical situation here so that we're all clear on everything. If I were to run a home business out of my residence, that would be something in a different category. Am I understanding you correctly?
Your home is in a housing addition, its primary use would be to live in it. Okay?
That's the way I understand it. Thank you.
It is not in a commercially zoned area.
I have a question about how does this manage as far as increase in the property value? How is that all managed and handled? Is it within the city or is it at the county level?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so that all happens pretty much at the county level. I mean, the city and the county work hand in hand on a lot of those issues, especially with a program like this. But what would happen is, of course, the county is primarily responsible for valuing all properties within the county for tax purposes. When someone submits an application under the NRP program, they realize they have to submit that application before they start constructing anything or it doesn't qualify. So they submit that and they say, here's how much we expect to spend on this project. And then they submit that there's actually 2 more parts of the application, but at the end, and they will finally report, and here's the final amount that we spent on this project. That all gets submitted to the city, it gets submitted and coordinated with the county. Counties generally use as one factor in determining how much to raise someone's property valuation, how much is spent on an improvement. They have building, they have the information from building permits, they'll have the information from the NRP. And so they will be able to then say, okay, this is how much increment was raised on the value of this property. It falls under the NRP. Now they will still, because this is a rebate program, so they will still collect those taxes from the property owner. And then coordinating with the city, it'll get rebated to the property owner just for the taxes associated with the increase in value from the project that has been prior approved and qualified under the NRP.
So just to be clear, we wouldn't be losing any money.
Correct.
Alright, any other council questions? Any other council questions? I want to be clear, Councilmember Baldridge have any conflict of interest, and should she reserve her vote?
Just as a function of her property being within one of the defined districts, that does not rise to a legally required, right.
Wanted to make sure that was on record. Thank you. Alright, if there's no other questions, I would entertain a motion.
Make a motion to adopt the Neighborhood Revitalization Plan Resolution 25-780 as presented and authorize the mayor to sign.
Have a second?
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Matt, second by Paul. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Aye. Carries 3-1. All right, moving on to council reports. Does any council member have any reports?
I have a short report.
Go ahead.
I know there is a lot of conversation regarding our rising property taxes, which impacts all of us, each and every resident and property owner in the city. I did a little bit of analysis on my own property. So this, and just so you know, this information is all available to the public. I'm not giving you any information that's private. So on my property alone, if the mill levy were changed by 1 mil, just 1 mil, that's $32 for a year. So the impact of the city changing the mill levy is, in my opinion, not a significant change. However, with that in mind, I took it upon myself to contact, mostly on my behalf, but I encourage each and every citizen to do this as well. I contacted Pete Metzner from Sedgwick County, and via email, I sent him an email regarding property taxes. And he replied back very, very quickly, and I thanked him for that. And he said, thank you for this message, and sorry for the tax increases you have witnessed on your property. Please know that I and others are working hard for the state to adjust and change the property tax valuation policy and guidelines that counties are required to follow. Although I and our county have reduced the mill the last 2 years, which is the only decision we have to impact the property taxes, the cities and school districts are the remaining 70% of your property tax. Unless we all reduce the mill levy, the impact of just the county mill levy reduction is minimal. The problem is at the state required level, which we are all working to ask the state to adjust. So that was his reply. I also sent to each and every legislator in the state of Kansas the same email, and I have yet to receive a reply except for one that stated that they are adjourned for the year. So I have not received anything back. With that, I did an analysis on the breakdown of the mill levy, and 73% of the mill levy, the tax dollars that we pay, go to outside the city. So I just wanted to give a little information and background on how the mill levy impacts us and what a mill levy change in the city of Kechi would do, which really where the impact needs to be, where it needs to change is at the state level. So I encourage each and every one of you to reach out to your state officials and see if we can get something done.
Any other council reports? I have one. I'll try to be quick and not read off. I will not read off all my items I worked on, but this will be in the council report part of the agenda when we publish for next meeting. So the 2 city meetings that I reported to from now PAC to 12/12 is I went to the REAP meeting and I was named the chair for REAP for 2025. We also discussed the makeup of REAP, budget, questions about meeting schedules, and just various topics about how we move REAP forward. On 1/8, I attended the Sedgwick County Commission meeting / celebration of service for Commissioner Sarah Lopez and Commissioner Dennis. They had their last meeting yesterday, and they're both excited to start their next chapters. And it was a very nice ceremony. They talked highly about each other and moving forward. So, all right. Any other things that we need to cover tonight before I ask for adjournment?
I would just say that Kechi is hosting the Sedgwick County Association of Cities meeting on Saturday for this month. Sedgwick County Association of Cities is a lot of elected officials, mayors from other cities, county commissioners, state representatives show up, and it's a really good networking group that meets once a month. So
That's every other month. Sorry.
every other month, I'm sorry. Yes. So myself and Mayor Coleman will attend, I believe. Yeah, Kendra's going to be there as well.
When is that again?
It is Saturday at 8:30 in the morning, but I'll be up here before then. So, stacked. And the topics that we'll discuss is homelessness or the unhoused. Humankind will be there to discuss their back. So we're hoping that. So Wichita PD did decline our offer to come and talk about the hot team, but that's okay. We're going to see if Sally Stang will come and talk about her piece of this as well. So that's what we got going on. And we will also host KT 54 on the 17th. That's Friday. That's the 17th. Yes, I think it is. Yes, 17th.
Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, so 1 or something like that. So, any other reports? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mayor,
Yes.
can I say one thing?
Of course.
I just want to give a shout out to our public works guys. In addition to our police department, public works, they plan to come out at 10 o'clock tonight and work through the night to get the streets cleared and ready for everybody in the morning. So I believe we have had more snow than anticipated. So they could be out all night, but when you see them, please thank them for all their hard work.
Thank you very much. Yes. All right. I would entertain a motion to adjourn. A second.
Second.
I have a motion by Kendra, second by Karen. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Carries 4-0. We are adjourned.